Sports Talk Chicago. Here with Jon Zaghloul, and we are back and ready for today's special guest. He's a seven-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, and a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Please welcome Warren Sapp to the program. Warren, it's great to have you on. How are you?
Always good to be with you, my man.
So, Warren, what was your reaction to the Buccaneers Super Bowl win?
Oh, man. You must have seen my live stream that I was doing with Brett Kirshner and Jon Zaghloul. We was having such a ball for 4 hours that I forgot I even played in a Super Bowl. We was like, this is my best Super Bowl. I'm like, me too. I'm like, well, no, it's second. The one I played in is just a little better than this one. Oh, man, it was just a great time. It was a great time from kickoff to the final whistle, everything about it.
Were you at all surprised by how the game went, how Patrick Mahomes didn't do well, and how the defense really shut him down?
The only thing that surprised me was the score, because I knew that Kansas City didn't have an offensive line. And Shaq and JPP and Sue and Vita and the boys, Golston and the rest of them, they was gonna come to play. I mean, I sent them a message. I told them, don't get sick to your stomach eating all that cake that's in front of you. But make sure y'all keep rotating around and, don't send them the same guy. Keep rotating, y'all keep rushing, because that little jackrabbit in the back of there is not going down easy. I promise you that. You're going to have to mount a rush all day long on him, and they did it.
Who's more responsible for the Bucs win, the defense or Tom Brady?
The whole team. That's the best thing about playing football. No one person on a football field is anything by himself. It takes everybody. It takes everybody to get it done. The special teams, everything. I mean, everybody. I mean, the DBs played well. The front end, I mean, the linebackers, except for letting Kelsey catch everything in the middle. Other than that, I was pretty satisfied with everything I saw. I mean, Tom was just serving up what they gave him. I mean, they gave him great field position, not a lot of third and longs, and he did what he's supposed to do. Complete the ball, put it in our playmaker's hand, and score points. Bingo. You don't need but 201 yards to win it. That's beautiful.
How would you compare this defense for the Bucs to yours from 2002?
Listen, these are two championship ball clubs forever and a day. So let's not do the comparison. But there's no comparison. I mean, you're talking about 5 sacks, 5 interceptions, and 3 touchdowns. I think that's legendary, isn't it?
I think so.
I do too. That's what we did. So I don't think I saw that the other night. But I mean, somebody tell me something different. I mean, like when Seattle did they did, I think they had 3 sacks, 2 picks, and 1 touchdown. I was like, that's cute. That's cute, but that's not legendary. This game's been played 101 years. You can stack yourself up against everybody else, but I love what the Bucs did. I love it. I love what they did, and anybody else start the comparisons they can, but it won't be that long of a discussion.
Warren Sapp here on Sports Talk Chicago. Warren, back in Super Bowl XXXVII, before the game, how confident were you in winning it?
It was our time. We had gone through Philadelphia, had gone through the beatings in Philadelphia, had finally had a coach that was going to hold my offense accountable for every snap that they were going to take, and we weren't going to try to win the game 17-10. That wasn't the plan anymore. The plan was to go out and they execute and dominate, and they were being held accountable for everything they were doing on the offensive side of the ball for the first time in the 8 years I had been in Tampa.
Were there any nerves? I mean, it's a pretty big game.
Yeah, of course. That's Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and a 2-time MVP and Rich Gannon standing over there. Charlie Gardner, they can wiggle and shake with the best of them. And Charlie, them tight end. Yeah, that was the #1 offense. Yeah, we had to be on our P's and Q's and be where you're supposed to be. Most people don't realize in a football game, you don't get beat by the position of a player. You get beat by the disposition when you're not where you're supposed to be.
What was different leading up to that game? Was it like a regular week or something else? How'd it go leading up to it?
It was so fast that we didn't even have time to think about it. We left Philadelphia on January the 19th, winning the NFC Championship game, and Monday we got on the plane and flew to San Diego. And then Sunday we were playing. We didn't have this 2-week hiatus and, hoopla to go on. We the last team to do that. So most people forget that. It was 18 years ago, but, I mean, it was just 6 days later we were lining up.
Wow.
Yeah. We had no time to even, think about tickets or anything. We left the coaches in Tampa when we took the flight out. John was like, yo, you better have them standing at 9 o'clock for the media day. I'm like, what? He was like, we got to sit back here and put a game plan together. I can't be flying. I said, okay, fine. I'll have them standing at 9 o'clock for the media day. No problem. We went to San Diego without our coaches. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to. You're Chicago, man. You can tell me about the 85 Bears, I bet you.
The night before the Super Bowl, Warren, what were you doing?
Counting tickets. Counting tickets. And then I got on my hands and knees, said my prayers before I got ready to go to bed, and I told the good Lord, please, Father, if this thing does not turn out the way I want it to, please give me the dignity and humility to be able to send there and give them credit for what they did and what we didn't do, and do it in a graceful manner. Amen. Listen, because there is a possibility you're going to lose this thing. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot here.
Right.
So if you lose it, you definitely going to have to come out and still be that, interview that everybody wants, because they're definitely coming to your front door.
How distracting was the media? Like that whole week, media day, and then afterwards?
I'm telling you, it went so fast. We did media day. After media day, we came back. I think we had another one like 4 o'clock the next afternoon. Maybe a little later after practice that afternoon, because Sports Center has to do their little thing. Get their little Super Bowl hit.
Right.
One of us would go to that day, or they take the 6 captains. That's what they basically did. They took our 6 captains every time they asked for it. So it wasn't that bad. Just another 45-minute hit that day, and then maybe another one on Thursday, and maybe a shorter one on Friday, and nothing on Saturday, because it's time. The horses in the barn. It's time to go play. Horses in the barn on Saturday, baby. It's time to go play.
When did you know during the game that you were going to win?
At halftime, it was 20-3.
And you knew there was no chance they'd make a comeback?
Not on my defense. Unless somebody was going to hold me, Brooks Litch, in the locker room, and, Simeon and Brunday and Dwight Smith and Brian Kelly, and then the MVP and Dexter Jackson and my new Hall of Fame teammate and John Lynch. So, hey, listen. Once you've already showed us your first 15, your next 45 is going to be pretty bad, too. That's just our philosophy. Your first 15 better crack us, because that's something new you're showing us. But once you show us your first 15 and you got 3 points, oh no, your next 45 is going to really suck.
How'd you do that? I mean, how'd you force an MVP like Rich Gannon to throw 5 picks in the Super Bowl? That's unbelievable.
Just being able to anticipate what was going on, because you have a plethora of plays they can do, and then when they line up in a certain formation, now it's about 2 or 3. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And now you go, okay, Sapp and Simeon rushing, so that I can jump this out route, I can jump this in if that's what it is, and if it's an out and I'm in, we still got somebody over the top. You see what I'm saying? That's the game that run they used to play underneath. And then Dexter started playing it from the safety position. And he didn't tell nobody. He finna make him a couple nice guesses here early in the first quarter. I looked at him, I said, really? You gonna guess like that in the first quarter? He's like, I made the play. I'm like, okay, I got you. Because normally I could come run day down into the fourth quarter. Did he, like the pick in Philadelphia in the championship game. I held him into the fourth quarter. I'm like, now you can go. Get me out of this. Pick one of these off. He's like, all right, I got you. Sometimes you got to hold your DBs back when you can get a good rush on a pass rusher. They like to jump things, and the out and up would kill us.
What's the first thing you did when the game ended?
I found my kids.
What happened? What was that interaction like?
The game was over. Before the game was over.
Right.
I got my hat from Jon Zaghloul and told him that was our 9th touchdown when Dwight ran the second one back, because he asked us as a defense for 9 touchdowns. You give me 9 touchdowns. That was the 9th one. So I told him, I said, I know you got that hat in the back of you, because he used to tuck a championship hat in his back whenever we had a championship game. He'd get one out of the box and stick it in his back.
Really?
So yeah. Cocky bastard.
I'm surprised that didn't jinx you.
Yeah, I love him. I love him for it. I mean, why not? Why not? So I asked him for my hat, my championship hat. So other than getting my hat, and then once Simeon and all the boys came off one time and they didn't have no hat, I mean, the game was, I think it was 46, 47, something like that, 41 at the time. Ugly number, 41. I'm glad we got to 48. So it was 41, and they came off the field, and I looked at all of it. I had my hat on. I said, "Where's your championship hat?" And they all looked at me with helmets on, like, "Fool, we got to finish the game." I'm like, "Oh, I was tripping. My bad." So then I went and found my kids and got my little girl. She's the ultimate Tampa Bay Bucs fan. I think she was happier Sunday than I was. Unbelievable. So now I went and got her and went and walked around the field with her in the confetti, and then jumped on the helicopter and went to Jimmy Kimmel.
How much did you celebrate that night?
I went to Jimmy Kimmel. I went and did the first Jimmy Kimmel show with Snoop Dogg, Coldplay, and Bishop Magic Don Juan.
That same night?
I got on a helicopter after winning and celebrating a little bit, and took off and went to the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Wow.
And then got back on the 604 challenge and went back and jumped back in the middle of the party. Yeah, damn good time.
What was that like?
What was what like? Sitting on a private jet by yourself?
Right.
Not cool. Not cool. It was just me and my Cristal bottle, my bottle of Cristal that I had that they wouldn't let me pop in the locker room. So I took it with me to Jimmy Kimmel, thinking I'd pop it up there, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to pop it with them either. So I had to wait all the way till I got back to San Diego to pop it with my teammates. Yeah, yeah. It was a long ride with that champagne bottle all the way up to LA and back, but I did it, and I had a good time doing it.
You still have the trophy? I saw your picture on Instagram.
Yeah, but that one wasn't. I got that one in an illegal manner, so we can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Yeah, you can't get one from the team unless they authorize it, and the Glazers didn't authorize us to have one. So I happened to be around some people that do what they do, and I saw one, and I traded something for it. So I have my trophy.
Why don't they let people have a trophy? How does that work for people who don't know? Like, how do you come into contact and get a trophy?
The team authorized Tiffany and the company, because that's what makes the trophy. Tiffany and company to make little replicas for you. Alvin Harper got 2 of them in his house. That's why I first knew about there being replicas.
Really?
Alvin Harper were teammates my rookie year down in Tampa, and I went by his house and I saw his 2 Super Bowl trophies in the back. I'm like, oh my God, they let you have one? He's like, yeah, they give us little replicas. He had 2 of them. I'm like, son of a, I gotta get me one of them. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get me one of them. So, that was my whole dream. And then when we asked the Glazers in 2003, can we give them? They were like, no.
Why not? Why didn't they let you have one? I mean, you were
a
big part of that
my
team.
My name is Sapp. You have to ask the Glazer. I figured they only wanted, because it was our first one in the team history, they only wanted 1 in town, because they knew I would have bought 5. Yeah, my mom needed 1, my 2 sisters, my brother, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, your grandma, you know what I'm saying? You got to spread them out. These things, they don't grow on trees.
Warren Sapp here on Sports Talk Chicago. Warren, what's your take on the new Hall of Fame members who just got in?
Holy Toledo, what a class. We're talking about the robot, operator, the UFO operator, Peyton Manning. The traffic director, you know what I'm saying, the orchestrator, you know what I'm saying, all the gyrations in the Omaha you can get, and he's still going to light you up no matter what you try to do to him. And then you look down there at Calvin Johnson. This man was so bad that we named him a bad guy. Every kid grows up, I want to be Superman, Batman. All those are good guys. Megatron is a 9mm gun. Megatron's a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? This guy was that good that we named him a bad guy. Then the old teammate of mine, the Heisman Trophy winner, Charles Woodson. I mean, you can't get any nicer than that. I mean, the first defensive Heisman winner in the game, old Raider, Packer, world champion, deserving, from Fremont, Ohio. He's going home. That's going to be beautiful. That's going to be beautiful. And then Alan Faneca, one of the finest guards I've ever faced in my game over there at Pittsburgh Steelers. Nice, long, wet hair. Go fight all day long. Yeah, play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Yeah. And who else is in this class? I'm thinking of somebody, but I'm not thinking of who.
Well, your teammate, John Lynch, too.
My teammate, the wrecking ball. Come on. You can't play like John Lynch used to play. You can't enforce the middle like John Lynch enforced the middle, where your chin would get checked and your jaw would be broken. So all the dinosaurs belong in the museum. So I thank them for finally letting my guy in, and now I have my triplets in Tampa.
Who isn't a Hall of Famer right now that should be? Is there someone specific on your mind?
Nah, not for me.
No?
I let them do what they did. Last time I talked about this, I made some people mad, and I don't want nobody mad at me, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy my first ballot, Brooks' first ballot, and now I got Lynch in, and now I'll lobby for Rondé and Simeon Rice on the back end.
Well, yeah, who would you lobby for? So you'd lobby for both of them?
No, I said I'll lobby on the back end. I'm not lobbying anywhere on the radio. I'm not talking about anybody's anything. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, can somebody let Torrey hold in? I'm sick of looking at that finger of his on the when he's talking about it. Oh, my goodness, gee. Not me. Not me. I'm sorry. I was a 50th anniversary class, so they went to a six-pack. And then they went 7, then they went 15, then they went 20. So a good thing they're back to 5. I like 5. Shorter speeches. You can get out of there before midnight. It's tough to get back to the hotel after all that drinking when everybody's talking.
What's your favorite experience from the Hall of Fame dinners? Because you go every year, obviously.
My favorite and best memory every year that I go to the Hall of Fame is to be able to walk up to Jim Brown, hug him tight, and take a selfie with him. That's how I start every Hall of Fame. I go straight in the place. I'll be like, "Where's Jim?" They be like, "Oh, he over there in the box shop." They'll be over there eating. They don't be drinking. They'll be over there eating because they got great food. So I go right over there and I look up at him. "Hey, boss man." I'll be like, "You already know." He's like, "All right." He stands up for me. Oh, it's the best. The best to be able to walk up on the GOAT and ask him to stand. Don't even have to ask him anymore. He already knows what I'm going to do. So he just stands up for me, hugs me, and let me take my selfie. That's the best. I get to walk up on the greatest of all time every year, and he knows what I want to do already.
How much did he mean to you? Did you grow up watching him?
No, I'm not that old. I'm born in 1972. He retired in, 65?
Right, a little bit before your time. But so
yeah,
why do you?
Yes, that's before Sapp. That's my little favorite saying. Whenever they talk about the old days, I tell them, "Hey, man, that's BS. That's before Sapp." And they kill me all the time. They punch me, Will and Neil, all of them punch me when I tell them that. I be like, "That's before Sapp, baby."
How much did he mean to you, though? Like, even after, you didn't get to watch him.
What he means to the game. What he means to the game. What he means to black men all over the world that, with that American, crusade that he does. You know what I'm saying? Go in the neighborhoods that he went. I remember when I was in high school, and they were doing all the drive-by shootings, and he went to the Bloods and Crips and told them to put down the guns. Jim Brown is Jim Brown, baby. Come on.
Right. Warren Sapp still here on Sports Talk Chicago. Warren, a few more questions before we finish up. First off, your new show with Brian Jones, How to Come Together.
Listen, Brian, the people at BetUS, America's favorite sports book, called us up and said they wanted to make America's favorite podcast. I said, "Well, who you teaming me up with?" They said, "He's the brother that be on CBS." I said, "Oh, the linebacker with the thick neck on his neck roll on his college picture? Yes, give him to me." Rod Jones is one of those guys that, just transcends the game on every level. That, OG that played the game back in the day, that understands today's game and the intricate ins and outs of it, and talks a little trash too. Because you know me, I like to talk a little trash. So we go at it. It's unfiltered. Ain't nobody watching, but a lot of people listening. Hopefully, so that's what we're going for right there. Because me unfiltered, you know what I can do. I'm on my best behavior with y'all. I don't want nobody calling you. I don't want nobody fighting.
Who's your favorite teammate that you played with?
Derek Brooks and Lynch.
Why?
Me and Brooks have known each other since we were 17 years old in the Florida-Georgia high school game.
Wow.
He was a linebacker and I was a tight end, and I had to put the move on him and shake him and leave him on the other side and catch the ball and got ready to turn up the field. He came across my face so fast. I said, "Holy, that's the fastest guy I've ever seen before in my life." It was unreal. Then we go to opposite colleges, Florida State, Miami, and his roommate and my roommate are best friends in high school.
Wow.
So Devin Bush. So Devin Bush and Ryan Collins. So all four of us become like great friends, and it was unbelievable. Derek Alexander was on the same team. Kevin Carter was on the same team. Ellis Johnson. Yeah, it was like 6 of us that are first-round picks on that Florida-Georgia team.
How about the best game of golf that you've shot? What would that be?
Best game of golf? I play for charity, you know?
Okay.
You got somebody want to donate and play with me for 18 holes, it'd be some of the best conversation you ever had. It won't be some of the best golf you've ever seen, though, I guarantee you that. But I have fun and make sure the cart girl is in full rotation, no more than 3 holes. You get a ticket in Florida for too much time between drinks on a golf course.
Do you really?
You didn't notice? Well, that's just my rule.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And Warren, before we finish up today, last question. What's the best trash talk that you've come up with in a game?
No, I heard it one time.
What was it?
I was in the game with a teammate of mine. I won't say any name to protect the innocent.
Okay.
Chris Carter is on the other side. That's the greatest trash talker in the history of the game, in my opinion. Because he's going to do it, and there's no cuss words. Your grandma can listen to it, and they're going to laugh too. So a teammate of mine just happened to have, like gold teeth in his mouth and, some different things. You know how young folks is. They do crazy stuff. So he comes, Chris Carter and him cross paths as we're going back to the huddle. And he looks over and he says his name. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Chris?" And I'm like, "No." I'm thinking, like, I told you, don't ever engage with him. I don't care what he says. So he engages with you. "Yeah, what up, Chris?" He's like, "Hey, man, this is like your 3rd, 4th year in the league?" "Yeah, you got it." He's like, "Don't you think it's about time for you to take advantage of the dental program?" Oh, my God. I almost fell through the floor. I almost just fell out on the floor. Right in the middle of the 50-yard line. He looks at me and says, "You better not laugh." And I'm like, I got to turn away from him. I'm like, "You don't want me to laugh at that." I've been telling you this for the last 6 months. I'm like, "Dog, one thing I do is just go on the plate. They'll hook you all the way up, man." You know what I'm saying? Have you some pearly whites across that thing, man. And they taking care of the 80-20. So you got to check. So take care of yourself. And it came from somebody else. And me and Chris had never had this conversation. That what was so fitting about it and made it so funny. Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
Right? Unreal. I said, "Holy Toledo." Oh, my goodness. It's so good sometimes. But it can get so dirty sometimes, too.
Well, Warren, thank you so much for joining me. Always a pleasure to have you on the program. You're welcome back anytime, and best wishes
and y'all
moving
stay
forward.
warm up there in Chicago right now. I know it's cold. Stay warm.